Um, Welcome to our latest webinar hosted by the Connecting Nature Enterprise Platform and the Community on Nature-Based Solutions for Water Management. My name is Gerardo Gonzalez. I work as a project manager at BIOAZUL, member of the Malaga MBS cluster, and also ambassador of the Community of Nature-Based Solutions for Water Management, facilitating the community in collaboration with the H2020 NICE project. Let me inform you that this session is being recorded and the video will be available on the platform within the coming days. I would also like to remind the audience that they can ask questions directly in the chat, and depending on how much time we have left, we will take some of your questions and ask our speakers after each presentation. But I also invite our presenters to answer directly in the chat if they don't mind. So in today's webinar, we wanted to explore the potential of nature-based solutions in a circular economy and the relevance of these solutions in resource-oriented concepts and approaches. In this sense, we have invited to this webinar well-recognized academic and non-academic representatives that I will introduce in a few minutes with experience in the integration of nature-based solutions in circular economy, and they are going to present different projects and best practice. But before giving the floor to them, I would like to ask Isabel Fletcher, which is here with us. She's an acting CEO at Horizon NOAA, and she's very much involved in the growth and the management of the Connecting Nature Enterprise Platform, to give us a short update on the platform, the new developments coming up. So, hi, Isabel, please, whenever you want.
Hi, Gerardo, and good afternoon, everybody. It's lovely to have so many of you here joining us this lunchtime. You're all very welcome to this webinar of, I think, the second or third webinar now in our autumn series. But just to give you a little bit of background, some of you will have already, excuse me, registered for the Connecting Nature Enterprise Platform, and you may already know that this was an innovation created as part of the Connecting Nature project, which is actually sustained and is continuing to develop and grow as that project completed in May, but it is a standalone innovation. And why did we create it? Well, I suppose we created it really to start to give a voice and raise awareness of, excuse me, of nature-based enterprises across a number of different thematic sectors, the water management community just being one. And since it launched back in October 2020, so just over 2 years ago now, its membership has grown to over 2,000 users with in excess of 350 nature-based enterprises registered on the platform. And as well as sort of amplifying or creating an awareness about the existence of nature-based enterprises, and I do want to acknowledge the fact that there are a number of sort of national and thematic representative groups on a national basis, but we link very much in Horizon NOAA and the projects that we're involved in, funded by both Horizon 2020 and Horizon Europe. We link in very much at a policy level, and our ambassadors were very involved in the production of an EU expert publication earlier this year about the vital role of nature-based enterprises in, or the vital role of nature-based solutions in a nature-positive economy, and the role that nature-based enterprises play in that. So really, I suppose that's one of our core functions. It's about raising awareness. It's about creating a community of nature-based enterprises and amplifying your voice. I mentioned we have a number of different communities. We have currently 10 thematic sectors, and we're going to be expanding that to include finance and investment and ecosystem restoration in the new year. We provide not just, I suppose, awareness raising, but our ambassadors, our communities run webinars, best practice webinars to inform practitioners of developments in the sector, to identify different challenges and to see if we can come up with solutions as well to help enterprises address these challenges. We're starting to roll out, I'm delighted to announce in 2023, our first continuing professional development initiative which is going to be piloted here in Ireland, where I'm based, with the Irish Landscape Institute. So if that's successful, we hope to start rolling out a series of CPD modules around the whole area of nature-based solutions and for the different thematic sectors and other best practice and capacity building measures as well. For those of you that are familiar with the current platform, it's a bit clunky, and we've spent an awful lot of time actually over the last number of months building a new platform, which we will be migrating to in January, and inviting all of you registered users to participate on, and just to re-register your profile. Your information will all be moved, but it won't go live until you agree to it going live. And we'll be looking forward to launching that new platform in Q1 of 2023. So I think you'll see there'll be a lot more activity, a lot more action, a lot more interactivity between the enterprises and the communities, a lot of shared initiatives, and as I say, a lot more in the way of sort of best practice and capacity building on offer through the platform. So we'd encourage you all to stay involved, and maybe encourage your colleagues as well to sign up. So Gerardo, I'll hand back to you and let this webinar get underway now. Happy to answer any questions in the chat as well.
Thank you, Isabel. I couldn't agree more on Isabel's message, that I encourage also everybody to register on the platform, and yeah, we will look forward to the new development and to the new platform coming up soon. And now I would like to introduce you to Natasha Atanasova, Associate Professor at the Faculty of Civil and Geodetic Engineering at the University of Ljubljana. And she's also head of the Department of Environmental Civil Engineering. She's currently involved in the H2020 EDICITNet project, and she's also co-chair of the Cost Action Circular Cities, both dealing with the implementation of nature-based solutions for circular management of resources. Today, she's going to give you an overview about the challenges that cities are facing on their pathway towards circular management of resources, and she will present a specific tool to address them. Hi, Natasha. Thank you for joining us today. It's a pleasure, as I said before, to have you here. You can share your screen and start with your presentation.
Thank you, Gerardo, and hello, everybody. It's nice to be here. So I will present you briefly the results of our cost action, which is basically approaching an end. So this cost action called Circular City started in October 2018, and it will end on 21st of April 2023, so next year. The motivation for this cost action is basically how can we address all the challenges that cities are facing, including resources depletion, climate change consequences, extreme events, the degradation of ecosystems, and so on. How can we address these challenges with nature-based solutions? It's a fact, and it's basically quite a fact that is long time known, that we need to adapt our urban infrastructures to climate change. Of course, we need to mitigate climate change, but it's a fact that climate change is here, and we also need to adapt. And this project really deals with that, how to use nature-based solutions for this adaptation. This is one of the infrastructures that actually is failing to deliver the services that it was built for. I'm talking about sewer systems and their function to manage rainwater. So due to extreme events, they cannot drain the city as they used to in the past, probably, and for what they were designed. So we are facing a lot of urban floods. And here on this side, we have a nature-based solution that can actually help managing rainwater. It can help the existing infrastructure to function better, or it can even be a worthy substitute of it. But our project, Circular Cities, is not just about urban infrastructure. It's about other infrastructures as well. It's about food, it's about energy, it's about materials, and how to manage all these resources in a kind of circular way. So instead of me talking, I would like to show you a short video about our cost action. So let's. Well, we have to wait for a few more seconds.
Imagine you enjoy nature, clean air, fresh local food, and beautiful green sceneries in the middle of the city. Imagine cities not just as economic centers, but also as resilient and enjoyable places with nature all around us. Sounds unrealistic and too good to be true? It's closer than you think. The Cost Action Circular City connects scientists and practitioners all over the world to work together on circular cities and bundle their research and experiences. In circular cities, buildings become much more than places to work or live in. Houses no longer just consume. There is a give and take with the surrounding environment. Through nature-based solutions, they store energy and provide high-quality surface water and nutrients, collected and filtered with plant technology directly from our waste streams, monitored for safe use. For all kinds of integrated food productions, like the edible walls or vertical farming, rooftop gardens, mushrooms harvested in our cellars, up to fish breeding in aquaponics. Circular houses include deconstructible joints and incorporate natural materials, like wood or straw and wool in walls and roofs. They contribute to biodiversity and create beneficial microclimates that prevent heat islands, droughts, and floods. Urban farming thrives through community and school gardens. Public spaces become lively areas where water and plants create a fresh climate, even in summer heat, and nature-based solutions absorb stormwater and bind CO2. Involving a large number of stakeholders and their interests, Cost Action's Circular Cities combines the superpower of nature-based solutions in a holistic urban web to create a multi-scale network of urban blue-green infrastructures. Benefits are not just ecological, but also economical and social. This Cost Action gathers experts all over the world with the knowledge, expertise, and tools to support you in your communication, planning, designing, and assessing of circular cities. We present sound solutions to the decision makers and implementers so that we can start building the cities of tomorrow today. Contact us now.
Okay, so that's our cost action, dealing with all sorts of aspects of circularity in city. And for that, you can imagine we have a large network of people working on this cost action, and we have basically involved all eligible countries plus associated countries, and there is a network of. I'm sorry.
Millions of people all over the world.
I have to stop this. Sorry. So basically, here we are. So basically, we have a network of more than 640 persons interested in the cost action and working together on nature-based solutions. The main deliverables of our cost action is you can find them basically in two special issues. One is blue-green systems, where we did a large state-of-the-art, so revision of the state-of-the-art on existing nature-based solutions. So there's a collection of papers. And then the other one is a special issue in Journal Water, where we presented in a series of papers a catalog of potential solutions for addressing the urban circularity challenges. The last outcome of our cost action is yet to come, and this is basically a toolbox, a platform for estimating the efficiency of nature-based solutions or combined nature-based solutions to address certain urban circularity challenges. So the framework that we have developed in this cost action is basically, it's composed of a catalog of technologies. First, of course, we defined and specified better the urban circularity challenges, which I will show in a moment. But then we cataloged nature-based solutions in a sense that we define them as units. And nature-based solution is actually a combination of these units. And of course, we are doing the analysis of inputs and outputs, or better say, the streams of resources that are going through these nature-based solutions. So in a way, if you compose these nature-based solutions in an appropriate way, they will provide circular streams. That's the goal. So this is the catalog basically of the nature-based solutions. All of them are described and specified more in detail. So we have identified like 39 units, 10 supporting units, and 12 nature-based solutions interventions. The supporting units are not really considered nature-based solutions, but they are helping nature-based solutions. So particularly when we talk about circularity, if we talk about resource recovery, then we have a set of options that can help nature-based solutions to recover, for example, phosphorus or energy or other resources. But we have 7 groups of nature-based solutions. So here we have the rainwater management group, remediation, treatment and recovery, food and biomass production, public green space, vertical greening systems, river restoration, and soil and water bioengineering. Of course, all of these units are multifunctional. If you have a unit from the rainwater management, it can also be a unit that provides food, for example. So they have multiple functions, and this is basically the point of nature-based solutions, the multifunctionality. Now, about the urban circularity challenges, of course, these units were composed or cataloged in this way in order to address these challenges. So it is kind of a framework that we have composed so that we can systematize the use of nature-based solutions. It's a conceptual approach. And basically, the challenges, the 2 general challenges of a city is how to minimize the import of new resources and how to minimize waste. If we achieve these 2 general challenges, then we are living in a circle, basically. But to be more specific, we have defined 7 specific urban circularity challenges, which are restoring and maintaining the water cycle, water and waste management, water and waste treatment, recovery and reuse, nutrient recovery and reuse, materials recovery and reuse, food and biomass production, energy efficiency and recovery, and building systems recovery. So these are the 7 specific challenges that are leading to the 2 general challenges. And here we have also the urban sectors. The urban sectors that are basically considered as a fields of activities within an urban setting that is dealing with these challenges or dealing with management of resources. And these are urban water management, built environment, urban farming, and resource recovery. So now the question is, what is the potential of each defined unit to address resources management in each of the sectors? So for this, we asked people that are working in these sectors, and we performed a series of workshops and activities in order to gather, like we have we had 10 workshops. In average, we had 71 participants from all the sectors and from 28 countries with different professional background. And they were working in the selected urban sectors. So this is basically a graph of the professional distribution of the contributors, and you can see that we have, well, most of the participants were basically from the engineering profession, but of course we had people from almost all relevant professions selecting how the nature-based solutions can address these sectors. So the analysis showed two interesting results. So basically only 5 nature-based solution units that were selected as relevant by all sectors. And these are treatment wetlands, phytoremediation, street trees, large urban parks, and pocket garden parks. And if we go to the sectors, we see that in the urban water management, almost all nature-based solutions are found useful, and that they can manage, they can contribute to more circular management of this resource. Then in urban farming, we had quite a lot of units as well. And okay, in building systems and resource recovery, a bit less selected nature-based solutions. So we find this quite an interesting result. And one more outcome I would like to present. And this outcome is of the Circular City is an online course. And this online course actually captures everything that we have developed, almost everything that we have developed within this cost action. It's a completely self-paced course, and it is published on the CapNet platform. The course will be open until 20th of December this year, but we will have another batch as well. The course provides with the learning experience that really tries to overcome the disciplinary gaps, because nature-based solutions are about that. And it has 4 modules: resources, flows, and management in cities, presenting nature-based solutions for a circular urban metabolism, design requirements for nature-based solutions, and implementation of nature-based solutions. We had in the first batch that will finish on the 20th of December, we had 400 people registered, and 50 people completed the course already. And this is some statistics about the participants. We had this is the level of knowledge with the medium low. Most of the participants they were with the medium knowledge, pre-knowledge, let's say, and you can see they are coming from all over the world. This is a short statistics or questionnaire. So the question were how relevant was the course, what was the overall experience, and to what degree did they acquire new knowledge. And you can see the results are quite nice. We are quite happy with these results, and most probably we will be happy to open another batch for this course. Finally, this is the web page of our cost action. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and these are some of our activities within the cost action. We have short-term scientific missions. We have a lot of meetings. We had summer schools and so on, and we had plenty of online workshops during the Corona time. Thank you very much for your attention. I will finish my presentation with this, and I'm open for questions.
Thank you very much, Natasha. Very interesting. I have to say that I took this online course recently, and I found it really, really interesting. So I encourage everybody to do the same. They are asking in the chat if we can share the link to join the course. So maybe.
Yes, of course. I think it's, yes, we can.
That would be great. So yeah, there are no more questions. I remind everybody that they can post it on the chat directly. And if there are no more questions, I would like to continue with the webinar. Let me just share my screen.
I just put the link to the course here in the chat. So
okay, thank you. Yeah, it was really interesting with a lot of modules, recommended readings, mandatory readings, a lot of resources actually. Okay, then let's move on to the next speaker. I would like to introduce you now to Anacleto Rizzo from the Italian company Iridra. He has a PhD in environmental and civil engineering. He's an expert in nature-based solutions, such as constructed wetlands, sustainable urban drainage systems. And he's going to share with you his work in the NAWAMED project and the design of a demo site in a primary school in Sicily. Hi, Anacleto. How are you doing? Thank you for joining.
Hi, Gerardo. Thank you very much for the nice presentation.
You're welcome. Nice to have you here. You can share your screen and proceed with your presentation whenever you want.
Perfect. So thank you again, Gerardo, and thank you for all participants to be here. And essentially, I'm going to present this experience on NAWAMED, but since the time is quite short, I'm not going to enter into the detail, but I wanted to give you an overview of how we reached this level of application and which was, since we are hosted by NICE project and we are talking about so many European research projects, just to narrate a little bit how we reached this level and which was the role of all R&D, because I was invited here as a success story from a company. And I really believe that this specific case is very important in terms of success story of a company that is investing in research and development, that it's not so straightforward usually for day-by-day business, I would say. So what we are talking about is gray water. For those of you that are not fully familiar with this definition, when we talk about gray water, we intend all the water that is coming outside our building from all the sources except from toilet. In this case, we talk about black water. And gray water has the peculiarity of being produced in large amount in our houses per day. So the majority of the water that we are wasting every day is gray water, actually. But they are also the less polluted because we don't have the black water inside in this case. And so the treatment is relatively easier. And we can think to treat and reuse for different kind of reuse, both indoor, like toilet flushing, or also outside, like infiltration or irrigation of green spaces. So what we talk about is about vertical systems for treating and reusing gray water, because NBS are quite well known for this application. Treatment wetland have been used for last 10 at least years for this application successfully, but we know that NBS are quite extensive solutions. So there is an increased amount of interest in trying to find alternative spaces to do this by NBS rather than gray infrastructure. And in this case, we can do also on green roof, but I want to stress a little bit the vertical systems because it's quite innovative. And at least for us as Iridra is a success story that is starting back from relatively old research project. And all these projects I'm going to slowly talk about which was the role. But starting from NAWATEC, NAWATEC was a very big Horizon FP7 project in which Iridra was involved as a partner with many different applications on sustainable sanitation. But in this aspect, in this project, we had the possibility to start to implement one of the first very demo site in real condition of a green wall for treating gray water. in the Pune hostel, student hostel. This was a very small demo, but we immediately felt the importance to go on real scale, to try to treat and to see what happens with real gray water, not synthetic gray water. And surprisingly, this demo was starting to be designed in 2014 and was monitored up to 2016. And this is actually the very first publication in water in IWA journal on a green wall for treating gray water and reuse. So essentially, we were the first in literature that started to talk about it, and we provided monitored data about it. But it's the first step. So for those of you that are aware of technological readiness level definition, we cannot say that we will be higher. We have been higher than 5 in this case, because it was really a first trial in real environment of this application. Then, starting from this experience, we had in Iridra, we like to do a little bit of Don Quixote, you know? So we like to try to go real, even if the evidence is not so high. So in this case, we had the possibility in the Consum Less Med Interreg project on sustainable tourism to implement a slightly bigger systems. In this case, it was a green wall for treating the gray water from shower of a beach in Ragusa. It was a little bit bigger than the one in India. We can say that we were in TRL 6. And in this case, we were treating the gray water from shower and treating in the green wall and reusing for irrigation outside for shading of the beach. In this case, it was interesting because we didn't have in this project money for monitoring. That is the key of research and development, actually. But going to this scale is starting to give us important insights of which could be the challenge to be win in order to make real this green wall, because I think is a demo site of 2 square meters like this. I think is if you start to green a wall in general, no, you're starting to have different challenges. Then, based in parallel, we also have been involved in more R&D, pure R&D project, because we were involved with in Polytechnic of Turin in collaboration with Technological University of Lisboa in the Super Green project. This was a small project internal of Polytechnic of Turin, but in this case is indeed on the opposite of the demo of Consum Less. We have been monitored in detail many aspects that could affect the design. So we had the evidence that we needed to properly design these systems, because we have tested different plants, different combination of media. We had a detailed design, a detailed monitoring that tell us what is working better, what is working worst. And so we, in parallel to going in real in Margarita Beach, designing, actually engineering these systems, we also have collected, thanks to collaboration with academia, basic research evidence from the Super Green project. And these, we published, for instance, this is a big review, highly cited, about NBS for grey water treatment. So we have really gone through every detailed basic design, I would say in this case, basic research, I would say in this case. We started to share the knowledge with a bigger group. Again, in the circular city presented by Natasha, we have developed a cluster in which we share the knowledge among different, because it's a very, it started to be talked about this in 2016 in literature. So there are many research groups that are running in parallel, completely from scratch, similar results. It is important to share experience and failures also. And thanks to this body of knowledge, we arrived in 2020 and realized in 2022 a system that upscaled much more. Here we are talking about the wall-to-water systems that we have designed in Naumet. It's a completely different scale, because essentially we are treating 10 times the gray water than the previous experience. We are using we are treating real gray water from the wash basin of the primary school in Ferla in Sicily. And essentially also from the other aspect, we are covering 30 square meters of surface of wall that is still treating gray water. So it's a completely different challenge from any aspect of conventional design of green walls, because it's changing the media, it's changing the feeding systems, because we cannot use self-compensated replies because, for instance, they can clog. We have done monitoring, we have done design, modeling to design to reach to this level, to reach a level of TRL 7. Thanks again to the fact that we have been funded by NAWAMED. And so here you can see it was installed, finished to be installed at the end of this summer. And so now it is ready to receive the gray water. And you can see some picture. I'm scrolling down. It was a challenge also to design how to intercept existing gray water. For instance, we have created a separate sewer from the wash basin of the school. This gray water is coming outside from the building and is going down to a pumping station that is feeding the green wall. And then this pumping station is collecting again the gray water and go back inside the bathroom of the school to recharge and to be used for toilet flushing. We have selected the right module, the right feeding systems, the right for us, media has been selected, the plant that could survive the environment, and it's starting to be a nice place also for sharing knowledge. I invite you to, we have a dedicated web page for these systems. And so we start to monitor these systems, and we hope to publish soon our results. But this was a big step that is going to be replied in NAWAMED project also in other countries, in Jordan, in Tunisia, and in Lebanon. And I want to conclude my presentation slightly in delay, I'm sorry, telling you that we still didn't finish our job, because we have to reach TRL 9, so fully available for market solution. And for doing this, we are going again to exploit the possibility to be financed by European project, NICE, the one that is hosting these activities. And again, with the same group, with Polytechnic of Turin, essentially we are doing a super green project 2.0, because we are testing on the same demo sites in Polytechnico, stress test. We are stressing the system, we are overloading the system, we are using high detergents to see if the system is resilient enough to really go in real market and to be a certain way designed and sold in the real market. Thank you very much. I was a little bit late, sorry, Gerardo.
No worries, Anacleto. Thank you very much. I have to say it's really a pleasure to hear about IRIDRA and what they are doing, because you are front runners in the implementation of nature-based solutions, really impressive projects. And I would say you are like a role model to look at when we look at this type of solutions. So I think there are no questions related to the presentation. I'm aware one of the urban labs in the NICE project is in Malaga, so I will keep an eye on you and hopefully visit some of the sites here in Malaga.
If I may add only one quick claim, Gerardo, about NICE project is that the stress test in Polytechnico is the basic design part of NICE. Based on these results, we are almost concluding this test. We are going to design real green walls in real condition in urban real labs. And one would be in Turin and the other will be together with Aqualia, also with Ivan, in Spain. So we are moving the knowledge from the stress test to real systems inside the NICE project.
Super. Thank you for this clarification. All right, then I think we should move on to the next speaker. Let me just share my screen 1 second. Okay, that's me. I would like to now take the opportunity to talk about a project that BIOAZUL, the company where I work for, has been involved in the last months. I would say it's also a good example of how MBS and circular economy are linked and can support each other. So I would like to tell you about the vertical ecosystem, which is a project that consisted in the demonstration of a prototype vertical hydroponic garden in combination with a greywater treatment station. This project had a duration of 6 months, including all the phases from the design and data collection through the construction and the monitoring and evaluation of the results. We did get some funding. We obtained some funding from the Horizon 2020 project Meta Building that included a cascade funding mechanism to support collaborative projects with grants of maximum 60,000 euros. And the goal was to support cross-sectoral and international collaboration of SMEs innovating in the construction sector. So the two project partners were BIOAZUL, which is a water engineering and technology consultancy here in Spain, and Bioautonomy, an architectural studio from Sweden, which is specialized in vertical gardens. And at this point, I would like to highlight that both companies, we got to know each other through the Connecting Nature enterprise platform. And also this open call that we applied to was announced in the platform. So I have to say that thanks to the platform, we developed this project, right? The main goal was clearly to demonstrate and validate an innovative solution to integrate MBS into existing buildings, applying a circular economy approach. In this sense, we designed a prototype consisting in 2 modules. One is the greywater recycling station, and then it is connected with a vertical hydroponic garden. And we would also test it and evaluate it in a real and operational environment here in Malaga. For this, we had the commitment and the support of a hotel, 4-star hotel here, Hotel Mariposa, that offered the facilities to implement this prototype. And to irrigate and maintain the garden, we would treat and reuse greywater from 2 hotel rooms that would cover 100% of the water demand of the vertical garden. I will tell you a little bit more in the next minutes. We would also implement some elements for automated and telematic management through phytoirrigation with nutrient control, and this way we'll minimize the maintenance of the garden. And finally, also very important for this project was to generate an added value for the hotel with environmental, economic, and social benefits, and also between the 2 SMEs participating, because we would create we could create a new business line and some market opportunities for both companies. In fact, this would be the first vertical hydroponic garden installed on the facade of a hotel here in the city of Malaga, reusing greywater generated on site. So I will give you a bit of an overview of the prototype. First of all, the greywater is collected from 2 hotel rooms, and it is redirected to the basement where the greywater recycling station has been installed. It has a treatment capacity of 400 liters per day, and the water is treated following a biological and ultrafiltration process to remove suspended solids, microorganisms, and so on. And the treated water will be reclaimed water. This is the name we give it to wastewater, which is treated for a certain purpose. And it also receives a disinfection treatment to preserve the quality of the water before it is used. Then from the basement, reclaimed water would be pumped up to the rooftop of the hotel, where it is stored in an irrigation tank with a capacity of 2,000 liters. And thanks to the monitoring and the remote control system, the nutrients necessary for the plants are added there to optimize the use. And afterwards, the water will go through the irrigation system to maintain the hydroponic garden with a total surface of almost 100 square meters and around 2,500 plants. Thanks to this hydroponic system, the consumption of water is much lower in comparison with other vertical gardens. And we have calculated around 250, 300 liters per day. Also very important is to mention that the prototype includes a backup system to use fresh water, just in case there is any problem with the treatment of the plant or the composition of the grey water and so on. The grey water recycling station provides a treatment of several steps. First, there is a removal of hair and other residues. Then there is a biological oxidation, filtering process using membrane, and chlorination for disinfection of the water. The biological process is going to degrade the organic matter, and the ultrafiltration membrane will prevent the presence of pathogenic microorganisms. As I mentioned, the grey water recycling station has been installed in the basement of the hotel. And because of the hotel doesn't have a separate network with pipe work for the grey water, something similar like Anacleto was explaining, we had to redirect the grey water from the 2 rooms to the basement and to the recycling station, and later on would be sent to the rooftop. After the treatment process, the grey water, from grey water to reclaimed water, we have some dosing pumps to correct the pH and the electrical conductivity, and then we adapt the quality of the water for the vertical garden. And at the same time, in parallel with the water line, the vertical hydroponic garden was designed and was built on the front facade of the hotel, covering the vertical stripes of concrete between the windows. And I would like to mention also that this was a pioneering project here in the city. So we faced the first challenge when we tried to acquire the construction license, and because Malaga, as well as many other cities, have a strong architectural and urban heritage, and several buildings are protected with strict regulations, and some innovative architectural features are not considered yet. So the regulatory framework was kind of updated, and it didn't mention anything about green facade. So for this, we had to collaborate with the well-recognized architect here in Malaga to try to convince the municipality. And I would say that it was also very important to have the endorsement of the European Commission, because we were positively evaluated by a panel that recognized the project, and this was really a strong instrument to get the license to start the construction. The anchorage system used in this case allows to have this hydroponic garden. It doesn't need soil, and there are different layers, like different panels installed on the facade. One of them is a textile layer that is serving as a substrate, as a support for the plants. And this is where the irrigation pipes are located using drippers. And there are different irrigation sectors on the facade. And because of this arrangement of layers and some air chambers between the layers, this is a very light structure, and it's around 32 kilos per square meter. Also, the selection of the plants was made carefully according to Mediterranean climate. In our case, the incidence of the sun, in this case, was north facade. The power of attraction of pollinators, the interaction between the different species, the aesthetic value was also considered. And also based on literature and similar projects, we have estimated some positive impacts. For instance, the vertical garden could produce the necessary oxygen for 100 people per year. It could absorb 230 kilos of CO2 and 13 kilos of dust. It filters around 65 tons of harmful gases. It could also regulate temperature, reducing up to 5 degrees the temperature indoors and 3 degrees outdoors during summertime. It can reduce up to 40% of noise from the street compared with conventional facades. It also increases urban biodiversity with new plants, new pollinators, birds, and so on. And it also strengthens the identity of Malaga as an innovative and sustainable city. And all this with zero fresh water consumption. So we are supporting also the closing of the water cycle at the hotel, and also we avoid the discharge of grey water to the sewage system. And just to conclude, for us, it was also very important to capitalize the social impact of this project. And we ran a survey on the street, and we had around 70 participants. We asked different questions. I have highlighted the main results that showed that 94% of the pedestrians and the neighbors believe that public administration should support nature-based enterprises to develop this type of solutions. 90% believe that it should be replicated across the city, and 82% agree that it provides significant benefits to society, being the most important ones: saving of water, the air quality of the improvement of the air quality, the decrease of temperature, and also very relevant for us and for the hotel is that 60% of the respondents are willing to pay an additional cost per room if they were to stay at the hotel. So this was also very nice result to share with the end user, with the hotel in this case. And yeah, that's the end of the presentation. I hope you found it interesting, and I will check if we have some questions, and I will try to answer directly in the chat, because we are a bit behind the schedule. And I would like to introduce you to the next speaker, Ivan Blanco. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you, Gerardo.
Yes.
Thank you to the platform.
Well, just a short introduction, if you don't mind. If you can start sharing your screen if you want. Ivan is working at the Spanish water management company Aqualia. He's an environmental scientist with international research experience. He's specialized in wastewater and treatment. And yeah, he works as a project officer in the technology and innovation department of Aqualia. I think he's going to present a demonstrative platform in text located in a wastewater treatment plant in Talavera de la Reina in Spain. So I will stop talking now, and I will let you continue from here.
Sure. Do you see the presentation?
Sorry?
Do you see the presentation?
And
am I sharing?
Not yet.
Screen?
Not yet.
Not yet?
Yeah. Now you can click on.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So well,
you have to change the presentation mode, because now we see both. Yeah.
Let me see.
Yeah.
So here is it? Yeah.
Now, perfect.
Yes, perfect. So hello everyone. Yeah, I am Ivan Blanco, project manager at Aqualia, and today I wanted to share our success story that from our projects in Aqualia, which is the project Intext. I just a little bit of context. I wanted to share with you that Aqualia belongs to the FCC group. This belongs to a larger firm. One second, please. Thank you. So I need to share again. So it is a larger firm, mostly a construction firm, but the main interesting point is that such a large company has a genuine interest in nature-based solutions. So a larger company, we distribute water to, we are #1 distributor of water in Spain, but also 4th in Europe, 9th in the world. We have business in the Americas and Middle East and North Africa. And whatever we learn from these projects, we can extrapolate it, share it with our customers. Another interesting point is that we are also working in the NICE platform, and which is coordinated by the team. IRIDRA is also here. And this project, it's more related to the projects that have been shared before, in the terms that it will have some work around water management in cities. So we'll be dealing with gray water, stormwater, wastewater, and it's discharged into the river basin in different cities. But it is at the research stage at the moment, and it will evolve. At the moment, we are into urban real labs. So at the moment, we are designing them. We don't have data just yet to show. So that's why today we wanted to discuss about the INTEXT project. And this, the concept comes from the need or the two different approaches that exist in the market to wastewater treatment. We have intensive processes that consume lots of energy but have a low footprint. And also we have extensive processes or nature-based solutions where we are able to treat wastewater efficiently, but in exchange, we have large surface requirements. So the INTEXT project comes from the concept of integrating both approaches. Why don't we intensify these extensive processes? Why don't we create a new set of technologies that we define them as INTEXT technologies, intensive and extensive? So in order to do this, we have created pilots at a high replication scale in 2 locations, in Seville, where we have done some retrofitting of 2 of the wetlands that already exist in the demonstrative platform. And a more ambitious part of the project is the one that we've built a new demonstrative platform for wastewater treatment with nature-based solutions in Talavera de la Reina, which is a city in the center of the Iberian Peninsula, and in a wastewater treatment plant, which is managed by Aqualia. It's property of the municipality, and it is managed by Aqualia in a continental climate. Today, we wanted to focus on this experimental plant. And here, you can see a picture of this plant where the construction took place next to or adjacent to the existing wastewater treatment plant. Some pictures on the right with where the plants have been developing during this year. So we're still in the startup phase, completed. And the interesting part here is that this is not only a nice playground for research, where we will be able to compare different technologies and do lots of different nice experiments, but it is also a nice showcase. So this platform allows the municipalities to come here and see firsthand different technologies that are available for its implementation in the market, compare them, and with a nice in a nice environment as well, as you can see in the pictures. So there's not much time to talk today in this presentation, so I will not go into detail, but I will just go through a little bit of the diagram of the different technologies and an overview. And here I just wanted to show which is the diagram, which looks a little bit complex because there's lots of technologies in this platform, more than the 16 different combinations that we have identified. So it is quite interesting in case that we want to define the operation of one technology in series with a different technology. It's possible to combine them. And also in the back of the platform, we will also be looking at nutrient recovery and soil disinfection and smart irrigation. So just an overview of different technologies. So we have on one side of the platform, we have constructed wetlands. We have a French system, a traditional French system, which is one of the most interesting systems for the market. And this one acts as a control, so we can compare other technologies which have been intensified. So we have horizontal flow constructed wetlands with blowers. We have combined vertical flow and horizontal flow constructed wetlands with blowers as well. We have systems behind or after pre-treatment and anaerobic pre-treatment. We can compare those to high rate algae ponds, systems with microalgae, and floating wetlands, where we have have done improvements in terms of hydraulic conductivity, but also with some equipment, some recycling pumps with aeration. We do have more wetlands for polishing of solids in the back end, or for sludge, for removal of activated sludge, or accumulation of activated sludge. And again, more technologies. We have more traditional systems such as or biofilm systems, such as rotating bioreactors, trickling filters, but also have novel systems such as anaerobic pretreatment systems, or a granular aerobic reactor for small populations. So it's a lot of different technologies, difficult to explain in detail. So what I've done is to add a video here, so we can have a peek at the at this platform. I think it's going to allow me to. Yes, it's showing. It's a short video, so you can see here an area view of the platform and the scale of this platform, where we are going to be doing different experiments to compare the different technologies within the context of the Intex project. But of course, it will be also a nice demonstrative platform that is available for visit. And yeah, and that's the presentation on this success story on how nature-based solutions are being looked at in larger companies such as Aqualia. Gerardo?
Yes. Thank you,
Okay.
Ivan. Thank you very much. Thank you for the presentation. You have a real living lab, I think, here in Talavera de la Reina, right? With so many technologies.
Yeah, no, it's very, very interesting, and it's quite an ambitious investment, no, from our company. So we hope to present some results soon enough.
Indeed, yeah, we will be also paying attention to the new development. As I said, as it was mentioned in the chat, it really shows the complexity that this type of systems and technologies can reach. I believe there's a question for you, so if you don't mind going through it, it's regarding the maintenance guidelines on operation. Meanwhile, I will be saying goodbye to everybody. Let me just share my screen. Yeah, I hope you can see this now. So yeah, we are a bit behind the schedule. I would like to thank each of you, our speakers, and also the participants, Natasha, Anacleto, and Ivan, for joining us today and sharing this experience with us. Thank you also, Isabel, for the support during the webinar, for this overview of the platform. I have to say that in the coming days, everybody will receive an email with some keynote and some takeaway messages, and the recording also of the webinar will be available. You will have the email address of the presenters in case you would like to address some questions to them. And last but not least, remember that I have to give you a bit of promotion of the platform. Our next webinar hosted by the platform is going to take place on the 14th of December. It's going to be organized by two of our community ambassadors. And it will be about the intersection of nature, mental health, technology. So please go to the platform, register. And that's all from my side. Thank you again to all our panelists. Thank you for the participants that joined today. And yeah, hope to see you soon in person sometime. Bye-bye, and take care of all of you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.